We're live. All right, Bill, we are live, so the floor is yours. You're ready to go whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, welcome everyone to the February 2nd, 2021 Town of Henrietta Conservation Board. I'm going to call roll. I'm here, William Santos, Robin Savaglia on my left. Richard Alford is on my right. We also have remote, let's see, Noreen Reardon, correct?
I will. Can I just interrupt and ask if?
Yep. Go ahead, Sarah.
Please just make sure if you're not speaking to make sure you mute yourself. We're getting a lot of reverb.
Great, how's that? We have Noreen Reardon, remote as well. Correct, Noreen, how are you? Noreen?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I'm here.
Great, thank you, Noreen. Steve Coffey.
I'm here as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And here's Bud Snyder.
Got it.
Great, Sarah Hogan. No Sarah tonight. Okay, cool. All right. So that is attendance. If I can remind everyone that the meeting is being streamed live and it is also being recorded. Did roll call. The first item on the agenda is the January 3rd, 2021 minutes for the Henrietta Conservation Board. I need a motion for those, please.
Well, I have a change on it first, if you may.
No, I need a motion to discuss and revise,
There's a change on the minutes.
right? Yeah, so you want to move,
Just,
with revision?
yes, I suppose so.
Okay,
Yeah.
move with revisions.
Okay, the revision is just a very short one, just
Okay,
in the members' reports. We talked about, I think it was Educators Grove, and it was typed up understandably as Educator Grove. It's Grove.
right,
Yep, Grove rather than Grow.
educators grow,
Grove,
Grove,
yes, Grove.
Okay.
Like a grove of trees.
okay. So the motion is to approve the minutes with the revision of educators Grove. Is there a second? Robin, thank you. Are there any other discussions? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Hi.
Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes have been approved, 6-0. Board member reports. Are there any reports for tonight? Hearing none, we'll go on to applications. First one on the agenda is application number 20-12, Salty Melon Holdings LLC for review of final site plan for a 40 by 80 pole barn to support the existing business on the adjoining property located adjacent to 385 through 395 Middle Road on 1.26 acres in an industrial zoned district. And I understand we have a applicant and presenter for tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is John Raba. I'm with Tech representing Salty Melon this evening.
John,
The
welcome.
minute, excellent job describing, or the public notice describing what the project is. And you may remember this project or this property. In 2018, this property was approved for a series of 3 mini storage buildings on this site. But in recent times, internal events, Salty Melon is the property holder, but High Falls Tree and Landscaping is really the owner operator, and their business has had tremendous growth. And so instead of building the mini storage, they decided they better have a facility in place for their business to operate in a better manner. So that's why this project has kind of come down in scale slightly to propose only one building to warehouse this equipment and store materials inside a closed structure. We also show some outdoor storage for materials and equipment on the site plan. The grading associated with this project was consistent with the original plan and is in conjunction with the approved plan as well back in 2018. We have a permit that was already in place from Monroe County DOT for access to the site. And the site basically functions as one property currently. There are two rental properties on the middle lot. The proposed pole barn is on the southern lot with that 1.1 acres. They have operated on this property since 2018 in unison with the neighborhood. They've had no issues with the southern adjoiner. That's why I really haven't proposed any screening other than leaving the natural barrier that's there. So if you've been to the site, the existing gravel area that's in place is really intended to remain in its same state and function as it does right now. We're proposing no light spill towards the neighbor. And again, looking to continue a good working relationship in the neighborhood. We are proposing no utilities to this proposed structure other than electric and heat possibly, but no water or bathroom facilities. So that's kind of a quick overview of what we're proposing, and I can take any questions you have.
Great, thanks, John. Who would like to go first?
Okay,
Bud?
that'll be fine. Yep.
Okay, great.
With the previous approval that you had gotten when it was proposed, I believe there was around the storage areas, there were going to be, was that a paved surface? I'm looking at the amount of green space that you have on the lot once it's completed.
Yeah, we're very consistent with that original plan. It was 3 buildings, and I believe our impervious area was consistent with what's proposed. Basically, what transpired is he kind of went into the mode of constructing the approved plan from 2018, but then based on the environment of what he's going through, he stopped. So he had the whole area prepped for the buildings and just decided not to pull the trigger on the mini storage.
And if the surface is gravel, it's a pervious surface so that the water goes down into the soil rather than being carried off site.
That is intended to stay like that. We did have to pave the apron to satisfy the Monroe County DOT permit.
Mhm.
But other than that, it will remain a gravel parking lot.
Okay, a couple of questions on the building itself. What is the height of the building and how high are the doors? I'm assuming that's for trucks to be able to pull in, so.
Yeah.
What's
They're,
that?
the building's code compliant. I believe they're 14-foot doors. And I don't believe the building is, I haven't seen the final plan. We showed a rendition of what's proposed, but I don't believe it'll be over 20 feet tall.
Okay. All right, and there's no cutter fill involved because you're just going to be leveling what's there, basically?
Yeah, I failed to mention the drainage. If you're familiar with Middle Road, the site slopes from south to north and kind of works its way towards Lehigh Station Road. And there's a function of this New York State 390. There's a stormwater area this eventually goes into. So it's intended to match the original plan and migrate water away from our southern neighbor towards the rear and north side of our property.
Okay, thank you, John. Go ahead.
Just to follow up to that last statement, John, the storm is sheet flow or just regular flow? There's no underground utilities, right? for that?
Right, it's low, trying to really take advantage of the grass area further north of the middle lot to let that water saturate in and not migrate any further north. So with no point flow in this design.
I just have a really quick question, John. When I was reading, I see that it states that the landscaping matches the 2019 plan, so all that remains the same.
Yep, but I do pick up on, as I was sitting here in my home office looking at it, I do see that we're proposing 4 pine trees. I think those are installed. My recent site visit earlier this fall. So I believe the 4 pine trees are currently in place.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
John, with regard to the trees that you just mentioned, what is the disturbed acreage of this? Just the footprint of the building?
Per this application, it will be just the footprint of the building. The rest of the site has been installed via the 2018 plan.
Okay.
And really, it's in the proposed building is a pole barn construction. So it is at the current grade. We're not modifying the grade too much. And obviously with pole barns, they set the posts and then pour the floor once the building is constructed. So we're not seeing a lot of disturbance with this proposed building.
Steve, you okay with that? With your tree count?
I'm sorry, talking to
No,
me?
I'm sorry, I was talking to Steve.
Oh,
So it was 4 trees, that Bill?
You were asking about trees and John had mentioned the 4 that were already installed. And so.
Yeah, I was just reiterating to state that it was matching the 2019 landscaping that was placed.
yeah. And I think the plan that we represent does a little disservice to our client in the fact that our southern property line is established a really major tree line. And, our little thin line on our plan really doesn't do it justice. So we intend to keep that major hedgerow in place between our southern neighbor and this activity.
Okay, thank you. I'm just, sorry, I'm catching up with notes here.
One additional clarification, the locust trees that are existing that were out closer to the road are still going to be there, right? In addition to the 4 new trees.
Correct. Those locust trees are within the right of way and we don't plan on touching those at all.
Okay, that's fine.
Robin, how are you?
So I have a question or two. So they're tree and landscaping. What do they do when they go in with, I don't know what you want to call it, the garbage, if they've taken down a tree or cleaned out some landscaping? Is that going to be left on this site?
So if you look at what we've tried to do in the southwest corner, we tried to create an area where he would have an area where he could leave some mulch or some kind of debris for a short period of time. Most of his work is done on site. If there were logs that were created, they are usually hauled off from the project site. Not a lot of material is brought back to this site. This site is really the home base for employees that are taking the trucks to pick up the trucks in the morning and head off to site. We created that storage area for incidental uses. We don't want to, all of a sudden we get a plan approved and all of a sudden there's a pile of mulch there for a month. So we want to just be very open with what his activities are. But most of the mulch will be handled off-site, but on occasion there might be a need to stockpile some mulch for a period of time and then handled and taken off-site.
I'm sorry, you said the southwest corner?
Correct. You'll see it says proposed wood chip stockpile area.
Yep.
We created an area between metal storage units where we can stockpile chips as needed.
So it'll be slightly protected from the road.
Yeah,
You'll see it a little bit, but it's not gonna be like an up in your face type of thing.
right. And I think with the grade change that we have from Middle Road, there's a significant grade change. You'd be hard pressed to see it from
Okay.
the traffic public.
And then one other question. So I know there's this really nice shrubbery wooded area between you and the property to the south.
Right.
Do they snow plow at all? Will there be truck lights in the winter at nighttime?
As far as snow plowing I mean, they are gonna have to maintain their property.
I'm thinking more, do they do snow plowing in the winter as part of their business? Is it a case where there'd be people coming, backing up trucks and leaving and snow plowing and coming back at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and lights shining into the south, the property to the south?
I don't know the intimate detail of his plowing business. I know that he does plow, but I think the employees that plow bring the trucks home with them and are not coming here. But I would have no problem designating that any plow trucks to be stored along the 390 right away, if that would help you.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really trying to be a good neighbor with his neighbor to the south. He's worked with them. He's the only person that would be impacted with any development. And from the start and to date, as far as I know, they have a very good working relationship.
I gotta tell you, I think it's definitely a better use of the space. So I commend him on that. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Robin, as a follow-up, I'm having a hard time writing that comment, just that we recommend not parking plow trucks in that area of the residence. Maybe, are we asking for buffer or are we just an operation note?
I think what he said it was that unless I'm misunderstanding, he was going to sort of recommend that they park towards the west of the property? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I'll put a note on the plan and the general notes stating that any plow trucks to be utilized for snow removal to be parked along the 390 right away.
Great.
That'll help you or achieve the goal that you're trying.
Yeah.
I think it's a good one. Why have trucks, even if they're idling at some period of time? Let's not do that.
I appreciate the buffer on the south side, but most of that's on the other property, of course, but, or the other parcel, but, as long as that stays intact, hopefully that will cut down on some of the, lighting that, flows over to.
Yeah, and and the operator, the owner operator, is he's willing to put a fence up if needed. He didn't really think it was needed at that time, and he felt that it might create more damage than benefit with a fence. But if the fence is required at some time and there are complaints, I'm sure he would satisfy the neighbor.
Okay.
Great, thank you. All set, Robin? Richard?
Hey, John, I just have a few things. I'm going to just touch on that buffer zone again. And I just wanted to ask, did you have previous approval or discussions about this buffer zone that's on the
yeah.
south property?
It was approved in 18. And let me just take a quick look and see if there was anything on that site. And we don't show any buffering along that line or fences or, additional trees on the site plan itself. So I guess I can't really speak to any other language or any other actions by the planning board.
Okay. All right, very good. So I have one more, John. I'm going to the EAF form, the environmental assessment form. There was the last question, number 20. It has a site of the proposed action or adjoining property been the subject of remediation, ongoing or completed for hazardous waste? And you checked yes. And then your answer was unknown. And I just wanted to ask you if you could explain that unknown answer.
Well, I guess with the new seeker form that is online, we don't have the ability to, sometimes these are self-filling. And I guess that's what happened on this. I'd have to quickly pull this, but I can imagine that maybe there was something, maybe not on our site, but in the adjacent area. I found my seeker form here, so. So I have it as no. This one dated December 14th, 2020.
What's the date on yours?
Oh, no, you're right. I see yes.
Oh, the bottom.
was
one, right?
I was looking at 19. So I guess this might be an action of a self-filling form from the state, but we're not aware of anything. Maybe there was something with the bus garage across the street, but we're not aware of any remediation as part of this on this property.
Okay, very good. That's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, John. Noreen?
I don't really have anything. It seems pretty straightforward. And if he's already working with the neighbor to, discuss any issues with traffic or noise or anything like that, if they're able to work that out together, then it seems like it's a, pretty good plan.
Right. Thank you. Great. So I think everyone, if anyone wants to circle back, any comments? Bud, you all set? Robin, you all set? Richard, Noreen, you're all set? And Steve,
set.
you all set?
All set. Thank you.
Okay, great. So let me read what I have here from John. The applicant stated the following, from a previous 2018 application, the mini storage building buildings are being revised to a single landscape business building. There's no changes to the grading. They reduced the 3 buildings down to 1. The current site is being used as a landscape business. There's no changes. There's no light spill to the neighbors. They have discussed and coordinated with the neighbor. There's no utilities proposed except for possibly electric and gas to the pole barn. The site will remain a gravel parking lot. Stormwater will be no point flow and just sheet flow at the current rate. Just the building will be a disturbance to the area. The 2018 landscaping plans have no changes and 4 trees have already been installed. The existing locust trees will be protected. The storage area will be short-term and difficult to see from the road. And I had 2 more on the back side here. Bear with me. 2018 plan did not have a buffer zone shown, and they're not aware of any remediation done or needed on site. And we had for HCB comments recommending to the planning board that the plow trucks be stored along the 390 right away to prevent disturbance to the neighbor. Any other comments?
Just the comment about the stockpile area.
Yes.
They do physically show a portable storage unit there.
Right.
Can we just add that as a comment just to make sure that either there is a storage unit blocking that view from the road, or he put up some type of fence? I
Okay.
mean, it is a slight downgrade, but I still think it's going to be pretty noticeable from the road.
I can add a note to that nature of some type.
So we'll add,
Thank you.
The storage unit or whatever can serve as buffer, so you don't see the.
yeah, recommend.
piles are not the most attractive things on
Yeah,
the road.
so I'm going to add a note to our recommendations to use storage units and or fencing to block stockpile,
A view of the stockpile.
yeah, view of the stockpile, thank you. View of stockpile from the road. Any other comments? All right, I need a motion for that one.
I'll motion.
Thank you, Steve. Did you move to approve, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. And I need a second, please.
I will second.
I see Richard's hand, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you for jumping in, though. Any other comments? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the motion has approved 6-0. Thank you, John, for coming in.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Yes, you
Thank
too.
John. Good job.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Good night. All right, next application is application number 21-001. Alpha Ironworks Building Addition for review of final site plan for a 4,586 square foot building addition located at 65 Goodway Drive South on 1.9 or roughly 2 acres in an industrial zone district. And we have a presenter here tonight.
Yep. Hi, everyone, Joe Ardiano from Vanguard Engineering, representing the applicant Alpha Ironworks, 65 Goodway Drive South, proposing a roughly 4,600 square foot building addition to the south end of the existing building. Some of the other things we're doing is adding a bioretention to handle roof runoff from that building addition. We have to increase some parking, but we actually went for a variance to reduce the number of required because there just isn't the demand for it on the project. The big thing is that we propose to encroach into the landscape buffer as there is a single family residential district to the south. However, the applicant has secured affidavits from both neighbors to the south. Have you guys received copies of those?
I think I just had this, the cover letter.
Just the cover letter, okay.
Yep,
All right, so yell at the staff.
no yelling. It's
I do have, I do have affidavits from both neighbors from 95 Bell Manor and 103 Manordale. Those are the two neighbors that are adjacent to the south that coincide with that buffer. In that affidavit, they basically acknowledge the proposal and that they have no objection to it.
Hey, Joe, can you repeat those again? I couldn't, your head turned away. So is 95 what?
95 Bell Manor
Yep,
and 103 Manordale.
103.
Manordale.
Down. Thank you.
So with this encroachment, or proposed encroachment into the buffer area, we do propose to remove 2 conifer trees, but we want to make sure that we maintain that screen from the neighbors. So we're going to plant 5 Norway spruce, I believe.
So you're replacing 2 pines.
With 5 Norway spruce. And then we have a variety of vegetation going into the bioretention, our standard vegetation for bioretention. The building itself is going to be the same as, the extension is going to be the same as what's there now. There are going to be 2 overhead doors and 1 man door added in this addition. However, those doors will all face to the north and away from any adjacent properties. So if someone were to basically walk into the buffer area, what they'll see is the building, they'll see the trees, the building, and some windows. That's basically it.
Hey, John, just really quick, that the PDF file for the Google Maps, is that a snapshot of what it looks like right now? The one that says home to 65 Goodway Drive?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Joe. Oh, sorry. I was wondering if that PDF file is that the Google map as of right now?
The PDF file?
Yeah, it's called home to 65 Goodway Drive, Google Maps.
That is not ours.
Oh. Because I see houses that you mentioned, and I was sort of curious.
Yeah, we did not present anything that out of Google Maps.
Oh, okay. Well, it was in the email, so I was just wondering. Okay.
Steve, anything else?
No, thanks.
You know, actually, as an offer, sometimes better than Google Maps or even Google Earth is the Monroe County GIS website. You can get the ortho image, and it's a little the resolution is a little clearer than Google Earth or Google Maps. So if you're in Monroe County and you're looking for an ortho view straight down, Monroe County GIS I recommend.
Nice. Noreen?
I think, again, it's pretty straightforward. Good planting, I thought, in the bioretention area and the little landscape bed out front, and the trees seem fine for that spot. Is there enough capacity in the bioretention area for the water that the roof is going to generate?
Yes.
Just figured I'd ask.
That area is fairly wet over there, if I recall, right, Joe?
Yeah, but there is actually a swale just to the west of the bioretention, so the overflow will go there. There's also, I believe, a concrete gutter to the south, right along the border with the neighboring property. So we're going to keep everything on our side of the berm. All the work is going to be kept on our side of the berm. The impervious area is going to go to the bioretention, and then when the bioretention overflows, it'll go to the swale to the west.
I had a follow-up question for that storm and the percentages you have on site, one of the sheets, 2 of 5, sorry. Note 5, you've got some square footages. The 55,000 square feet and the 84 or 85,000 square feet. That's the before and after, I take it?
No, 55 is the 55,000 is going to be the impervious surface as proposed. And the 85,000 is the total lot area.
Gotcha. Okay.
Once this is done and constructed, the impervious surface percentage will be 65%.
Got it. Thank you. So 35% pervious. Good.
Yep. It's industrial.
Right. Noreen, are you all set?
Sorry, it took me a long time to figure out how to unmute. Yes, I'm all set. Thank you.
I know. Your mouse gets stuck in the corner of the 2 monitors and yeah, I've been there. Robin, how about you? Any comments?
I just have one clarification, Joe. You said you're getting a waiver on parking, but the parking you're adding, it's being added to impervious area already. You're not creating any more from that, correct?
Correct. We're rearranging the existing parking to acquire some parking spaces but we are requesting a variance because the building addition is requiring more parking. We rearranged the existing impervious surface to get some more parking, and then we seek a waiver for relief for the rest.
Perfect. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I tried to talk them into getting rid of some of the pavement, but they didn't want to go for that.
That's the only question I had.
Thanks, Robin. Bud or Richard? You wanna-
I'll take it. Joe, the couple of questions on the south end of the property, where the easement is, what actually buffer do you have between the new building? I see you've got it kind of cut at an angle to stay within the property lines, but how much buffer do you have? What's your setback there?
So we're proposing to reduce the landscape buffer to 40 feet. We propose the building to be at 41.8 feet from the south property line.
But that includes the easement area, right, where the trees are?
So let me say it's a buffer. That's where it's not technically an easement. I'm just getting all technical on you.
Right.
It's a 40, we're proposing to reduce a 60-foot wide buffer to 40 feet, right? Actually, the buffer was already reduced to 50. And then we're further reducing it to 40, putting the building at roughly 42 feet. All the landscaping will be in that buffer. And there are actually easements in there, but those are all closer to the south property line than that 40-foot buffer. So that 40-foot line is that line that we are gonna have to adhere to.
Gotcha. I think that's also for mostly underground utility, right? RG&E.
Yeah, there's an overhead utility and there's other stuff.
Okay, other stuff. Now, you're leaving the poplar you're leaving and you're putting in some spruce?
We're putting in 5 Norway spruce. There are 2 coniferous trees that I don't know what the hell they are.
Oh, I understand that.
But
But
2
you,
evergreens were taken down and we're planting 5 very, very columnar type trees because of the proximity of the overhead lines.
right, the screening in that area is great. I used to have a friend that lived on Bell Manor, I think, or Manordale. And I think it was one over from that other property. But I never realized there was building behind, behind that. So I like the screening. How tall will the spruce trees that you're gonna put in be when they're first planted? Obviously, they'll grow, but what, is that give substantial buffer to begin with right off the bat?
It's been a while since I submitted to the town of Henrietta. By the way, it's nice seeing you all again. But my understanding is town of Henrietta requires 6 to 8 feet in height for evergreen trees at planting. That's still the case?
Sounds
I
right.
believe that sounds right. That they did have caliper requirements as well, but I think 6 to 8 was the.
Yeah.
And that,
I just looked at my landscape plan and it says 6 to 8 feet.
yeah,
Okay, because the screening right now of those trees is great. I don't want to lose that, for more than a couple of years while they grow up. So
Yeah.
that sounds good.
all set, bud.
I think so. Yep. Nice building.
So,
My engineer, Jeremy, just confirmed 6 to 8 feet.
yeah,
Okay.
great. And Richard,
Joe, most of my questions are in regards to construction logistics. This is a really tight site over there in that corner, so that's where most of my questions are going. Do you have, will there be a stockpile of topsoil or other soils on site that you're aware of? And if the answer is yes, we need the location to ensure and protect and stabilize away from any drainage structures.
I really don't expect there to be a stockpile because the building is slab on grade. There isn't going to be a lot of removal of existing soil. So I think it's just going to be hauled off.
Okay,
Plus, you're right. There's no place to put it.
I know it. The second one, in the same regard, was Because this is a masonry building, 2-story, we need to provide a location and environmental mitigation plan for the construction staging area with the concrete washout details. I didn't see anything noted in the plans in regards to that.
No, actually, you're right. We'll put in a concrete wash station. It's probably going to end up having to be real close to where we're expanding the asphalt pavement. I mean, it could be in the lawn area next to the bioretention, but that's a disaster waiting to happen if it, so yeah, I'm going to have to put it somewhere along that southwest curb line.
Okay. So these are in regards to silt fence location. I recommend you consider adding or moving the proposed silt fence at the south property line. Currently, you have it set at elevation 501. I recommend either adding additional silt fence or moving that one up to elevation 505, because what I'm seeing is a concentrated water flow at the southwest property corner with the way you have it set up right now, that it will require a lot of maintenance. Certainly depending on the time of year the construction's going on.
So you say you want me to move the silt fence up 4 feet towards the top of the berm?
Right, what I'm seeing now is in that southwest corner, there's
Yeah.
a very low spot where you're gonna end up with a lot of sediment. The way the fence is set up.
Yeah. So the reason why I have the fence where I have it now is to keep it away from the trees, so it can be staked outside the drip line. Would it be okay if I leave that silt fence there and then add another layer of silt fence running right along the 505, between 505 and 506, and to capture that area?
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at too, and sorry if I didn't explain myself. I was either recommending moving or adding
Yeah.
additional fence a little bit higher.
Yeah. So I'll add silt fence right around the 505.5 contour line and extend that along the west property line.
Okay, thank you. And then the second comment I have is still in regards to the silt fence. I'm recommending that you extend the silt fence along the southwest property line all the way to the north catch basin. That's the catch basin that invert is 502.43. I just see that you're redoing a water line up there. I see some construction activity that, and with a current grade, that may end up impacting that catch basin. Right now, I think you only have 2 protected catch basins.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a catch basin number on that?
No, there was no numbers. I only
No,
have,
it just says existing CV,
Okay,
but I know what he's talking about. It's the catch basin on the west property line, but it's the northern catch basin. Right?
yep, perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
So I have one last question, and this is in regards to the environmental assessment form, the EAF form.
Okay.
Question number 20 was the last question on there. You guys had checked yes, and the question was, has the site of the proposed action or adjoining property been a subject of remediation, ongoing or completed for hazardous waste? And then the answer was unknown.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, like your last applicant with John, when you do EAFs these days, New York State DEC actually fills in some of the information for you, and it posted yes for this site. So then it's our obligation to try to look for it. But when we went to look for what happened there was no record.
Okay,
But that's why we post that remediation was ongoing or complete per the DEC mapper, but there's no record.
okay. Understood.
So we didn't want to say no because the mapper says yes.
Yep.
right.
But then if you ask request for the details, they don't give you any.
Okay.
You do,
Yeah.
That's all for me. Thank you, John, Joe.
Thanks, Richard. Good. Anyone else with questions? If not, I will read what I have here. The applicant stated the following. The addition includes bioretention area. The doors of the addition will be facing away from the neighbors. They are proposing to encroach into the buffer zone. They have received affidavits from 95 Bell Manor and 103 Manordale. The proposing buffer will be 40 feet deep. They are replacing 2 pines with 5 Norway spruce, providing screening of roughly 6 to 8 feet tall. 35% of the surface area will be pervious. They are requesting a variance for less parking than code, and they are trying to maintain the current asphalt area. There's no real grade change. The soil will be removed from site from the addition. And there is no record of remediation on the site. And I heard notes from us, recommendations from us. Give me a second to get there. It was a good planting design in the bioretention area. We are recommending a wash station for construction trucks. And we are recommending enhancing the silt fence protection perimeter in the southwest corner at the 505 contour line and all the way up along the west property to the north catch basin. Does that capture our recommendations? Are there any other comments? So,
Not for me.
okay, great. Thanks, Noreen. Did you want to move that, Noreen?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, great. Is that a recommend to approve, Noreen?
Yes, I recommend approve. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
To approve. Great. Thank you. And seconded by Bud. If there's no other discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Thanks, Joe. Nice job.
Thanks. Nice seeing you all again.
Yes, nice to see you.
Have a happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right.
Same to you. One last question, Joe.
Yeah,
You have pretty confident that those poplars that will be remaining will be able to survive the construction near it? You'll try to do your best to not have those trees die, right?
well, we specify tree protection, but let me be clear and frank, I'm not the contractor. So we can talk to them until the cows come home at a pre-construction meeting, but I can't physically stop them from doing the stupid crap that some contractors do.
Right, since that buffer zone is such a consideration, obviously, it's something that I'm particularly interested in. I know that sometimes even with the most care taken, sometimes the trees die off, and we don't want that to happen.
You know, the people who are best suited to make sure the contractor does that is town staff.
You got it. Let Chris know.
Yep, I'll bug Chris about it.
Pass the word. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Take care.
Oh, thanks for coming in tonight.
See ya.
Virtually. Good to see you.
Virtually.
All right, next item on the agenda is old business. The Henrietta Conservation Board manual was sent to you, a link in the Dropbox. So we can recommend the changes as needed. And if you have some, please email them to me and we can get them incorporated. Any new business? If there's nothing else, our next meeting is March 2nd, 2021. And I would need a motion to adjourn, please. Robin, with the motion, is there a second? Richard, thank you. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you. Nice job, everyone. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Bye, Noreen. Bye, Steve.
Drive safely.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Becky.